Yeah, I always end up with weird junk. You know, if I see something unusual, I buy it. I bought this a long time ago. I had no idea what it was. Now I do, but unfortunately it is not functioning, at least at the moment. It is a radio, but it's a little peculiar. There's a government, a U.S. Navy contract number on it. And I looked that number up. You know, that's the thing about the internet, you can do that. And I found a lot of information about these radios. This is the wrong knob. This is these two knobs should look exactly like this one, which is the on-off and volume. This is the right knob, though, to do the tuning. Okay, it's AM shortwave. It's meant to run on 6 volt or 115. Well, I charged up my 6 volt battery because I was running the car yesterday. Well, I blew a radiator hose or a heater hose. It put water on the distributor, and then trying to get it started again, I run the battery down. So I charged the battery up, and then I happened to think, yeah, I had a 6 volt radio someplace in my junk. I never used it because, you know, my wind charger puts out 12, so 6 I'd have had to do some fancy footwork to run this radio. And she's evidently, well, 7 tubes. If you know, my first thought on any of these radios is this vibrator. Now, I pulled the vibrator apart because I could see it had already been taken apart and cleaned the points, because it contacts, goes back and forth. You know, that's what makes the buzzing sound and kicks the voltage up to make the radio work. But that's still dead. So I'll have to see. I'll maybe try a different vibrator, though I see one point, or one of the tubes, this particular OZ4G is black. Well, that might be the problem. Or it could be, you know, this is like a power supply transformer, and I know I had an old Crosley fiber that burnt out on, and then you're kind of screwed. But the thing about this, okay, this radio, like I said, it's a Navy contract radio. They were made in 1945 by a company in Minnesota. They were a Morel radio. They were made to be shipped overseas to the Pacific Islands for the troops. You know, you could listen to the radio. It was supposed to perk you up. You know, Tokyo Rose. Well, they're kind of a classic, so I'm going to have to hang on to it and see if I can't come up with parts, or see if somebody knows how to work on these. I mean, it'd be interesting, and when it's, you know, it's got a history to it, you can't just scrap it. But, like I say, tube-type radio, but I should unhook the power supply, even though I don't seem to be getting any action out of her. But I'll try a different vibrator, and that might do it. But you look underneath, she is full of all kinds of big condensers and capacitors. There's no circuit board. She's just a hodgepodge of wiring. You know, but 45 would be pre-circuit board, but you know, every one of them was soldered by hand. Yeah. Yeah, the brand name, the Little American, which is funny. Anyway, part of the history of these things, you know, like I say, they were made to be shipped overseas for morale. But in looking on the internet, I found out that, you know, this company, it was a tool and die company in Minnesota. And after they weren't making, they made these radios under contract, and they're in a substantial case. There's supposed to be a cover that folds down over the face of the radio. All the cables, everything goes inside. Then you would close that cover. It would seal it up. And then there was a leather handle, though part of the leather is ripped off of her. But that could be repaired. That's the least of my problems. Missing cover is probably not a good thing, but if a guy could find another one that didn't work, maybe a guy could make one. Now that I know what it is, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of nice, like there's no connections in the back, the connections are all in the front. But I would have to find the cover, 2 more of these type of knobs, and the handle could be easily manufactured. Yeah, now that it's got me interested, I'll kind of look into it some. But the company that made these, like I said, they're from Minnesota. And then after the war, they were making a line of like tin kitchen goods. They were stamped stuff. They were stamping stuff, and that really wasn't working. Well, then they started making stamped tin toys, and they are what became Tonka Toys. 3 of the guys that worked for the company evidently started Tonka Toys, which explains why that's a pretty good solid case. Now if we just get the radio to work. But I think it's cool. I'm kind of into radio, but I don't know crap about radios. I don't work on radios. All I know on these old ones is that if you got a problem, it's usually in this vibrator. So like I say, I'll usually, first thing I'll try is a different vibrator. And then I'll see about having somebody look at it if I can't get it to work. But that is a minefield I don't care to go down. I've been down that before. A lot of these people that know how to work on these old radios will try to screw you out of the old radio. If the radio is worth anything, they're not really, I'm not going to say honest, but there's something, they're looking for an advantage. If they can find a radio that people don't realize what it's worth, you bring it in to get it fixed, they'll immediately say, oh, you can't fix that, but I'll take it off your hands. And that's unfortunate, but that happens. I'm sure it happens in a lot of things, but I know the radios, it does happen. I imagine even televisions now, some of the old ones that are collectible, because they do turn up some of the real cool old televisions. Well, if you brought one in to get fixed, nope, can't fix it.